What's good, Wager World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. In here with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spread Astaire? How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing good, and the Kings are going to be taking on Skee's favorite team tonight. Can't wait to get his thoughts on that. But how are you doing today?
Man, I'm great, man. Another successful day. Nothing can ever go wrong when you're seeing some wins. So we're getting things turned around, and I'm really loving that. Besides Georgia Southern, we had a good night. Let's get to the past.
In the past, we had the Falcons, and you nailed that game correctly. Hey, right? I said I liked the under. You liked Carolina. I
Yeah,
was sweating the end of that game. You were just cruising home free, right? With no sweat at all.
yeah,
Mariota's throwing passes off his back. It's time for
yeah,
Desmond Ritter. Okay. I
yeah,
might see some Desmond Ritter, probably London and Pitts too as well. But that was a good
yeah.
pick for you, and I squeaked home that under. But I'll take it. The money spent's the same. What did you see there?
No sweat from the jump. I already knew with the weather. The weather was the main factor that I took in with that game, man. It was going to be raining all day. And you know how dome teams are, man. No matter how they try to get away from that identity, it's still a dome team, man. And when they go outside and playing in these conditions, they just aren't used to it. They're used to playing a different type of professional football when you practice inside. And they just weren't prepared for those conditions. Another great job by Steve Wilkes. He's pushing really hard for Carolina to have to at least interview him. I'm sure they will with the Rooney rule anyway, even if they don't hire him. But he's doing a really good job. That team looks completely motivated. That defense has looked completely ferocious since he's taken over as the head coach. Deontay Foreman is making them not even think about what they had in McCaffrey. So just a good job. And I questioned at first him starting PJ over Baker Mayfield, but it seems like it worked out pretty good because the quarterback did a really good job of controlling the game. He made some really big throws. Steve Wilkes trusted him, and he knows his team better than me because he's at practice with them every day. Did you see the thing with Baker Mayfield headbutting people with no
Mm-mm.
helmet on? Man, when you get a chance, check out the clip. Baker Mayfield, when the offense scores, they're coming off the field, and he's like headbutting these guys like hard as hell with no helmet on. And number 12, Smith, for them, looks at him like, backs up like, dude, you gonna bust your skull open. Are you crazy? So Baker's definitely on one over there, but we were able to cash that, man, and that was a really no sweat the whole game.
What happened with Georgia Southern there? I love the pick when we gave it out. I didn't catch much of the game. I had NBA on. What were your thoughts on Georgia Southern?
I'm staying away from Louisiana Lafayette because the exact opposite happened to us when they were hot and they were rolling. We took them at Southern Mississippi and they got down like 25 points in the first half. This game they decide to play ball and they get up about 25 points at halftime. Georgia Southern's coach Clay Helton is just an imbecile, and I see why USC fired him. We're going to talk about him a little bit later and kick the damn extra point. Not much to say about this game. I feel like I was on the right side with the wrong coach.
Talk to me about Tulsa and Memphis. What did you see in that game?
I didn't watch much of that game. As I told you, I was waiting to see if Bren played. If he played, I would think about playing that game. Um, Tulsa had a chance at the end of the game to stop them and have a chance to threaten the cover, but they never were really much in the game. The offense struggled completely. Just a terrible game. I didn't watch much of it. A lot of noise talk was going on between the two teams just before the game. Like they had a skirmish, and one of the receivers from Memphis was over on the other side and Tulsa side getting into it with coaches and stuff, and he carried on to the field. And you know I am like I want to see you play football. I didn't come to see you guys have a show off. So I didn't watch much of that. It kind of turned me off early. It wasn't that interesting of a game.
And the one and only Skee Prophet, NBA guru. How you doing today, Skee?
I'm doing all right. NBA kicked my butt yesterday, but it's only one day. Get back on
Yeah.
track today, and it's good to be back on here with you fellas talking sports.
Isn't that
What's
the best
good,
part of
Skee?
NBA? When you lose, you can get back at it the next day. You don't have to wait a week.
Absolutely. You just, you probably be pissed off for a few hours, sleep it off, wake up, get back after it again.
Get back after it again, man. That's what we do. This isn't a profession for everybody. It's not for the meek. I tell people that all the time. All right, what we got first? Spread and present. Let's get.
All right, let's jump right in. Let's talk about East Carolina. They're +5 in Cincinnati. What are your thoughts there, 5 star?
Well, it's a Friday night matchup. Uh, East Carolina's been off a whole week after their big victory at BYU. I love how East Carolina's playing currently. And actually, guys, I suggest you both make the play before the number drops. I think it'll be like 4.5 before the game goes off. I like East Carolina in this game against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a good team just because, as you know, Luke Fickell is a hell of a coach. He knows what he's doing with putting that team together and coming up with a good game plan. His defenses are always sound. He's been struggling a little bit with the quarterback position. And what's funny is the guy's been there about 3 years, who's the starter. But he just, I don't know, he just isn't consistent. He could go out there today and throw for 300, 400 yards, but I do trust East Carolina's quarterback and their receivers and their offense. They got an outstanding running back as well, and I just like the way that they're hitting. They might win this game money line, but I know for sure that I think that they will cover. So I'll definitely be on Cincinnati +5, guys. I actually got it in last night at +5.5.
And Skee, you don't cap college football, do you? Do you have thoughts on this one?
Not at all. I asked 5-star when I want to bet on college.
Yeah,
That's what I do too. It's great.
yeah. I
I
asked
don't
you
even
guys
know
for
who these players
NBA.
are.
You know, it's how I go. You guys do the NBA, I do the college football. That's how it's always been, man. We ain't changed. It's been working pretty good for all of us. Nobody going to the store and can't buy steaks, right, Spread?
That's right. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So let's move to Saturday. LSU is -4 at Arkansas. LSU playing pretty well lately. Tough to go against them. Do you think the Razorbacks got anything for them?
Man, you know I'm a diehard LSU fan, but I am not touching this game. It's just I know the history of LSU Arkansas, and it's a rival. It's one of those situations like you talked about, Spread, about how the Sacramento Kings look at Golden State as a rivalry, so they're up for them. And like Golden State not cared at all when they play the Kings. That's how Arkansas and LSU is. Like Arkansas people going crazy this week. Like, yeah, LSU's coming to town, and LSU's just like, nah, we got Arkansas. So that's the thing that they're going to have to be careful of because KJ Jefferson, he's been banged up, but he's a really good quarterback. If he doesn't play, actually, a kid that I mentored and I coached as a quarterback who's his backup, Malik, will actually be in the game, man, and I would love to see him play. He's not ready right now, but he's going to be a real good player. But Arkansas is a really tough team. They're really good on offense, but they struggle on defense. LSU off a huge win, beating Alabama for the first time, and God knows when. So I would be careful this game. It's a stay away from me. I'll just watch it as a fan and be going for LSU to win.
All right, let's go to the Big Ten. Wisconsin's going to be at Iowa. Iowa catching +1.5 at home. A lot of times those games are just pick the winner, though. Who do you like there?
Roll with the home team, the Iowa short dog in conference game. Two teams that are really alike. They both play a lot of defense. They both struggle at quarterback. They have quarterbacks who don't make a lot of plays in the passing game. They're both running teams, but Iowa's picking up a lot of steam right now. Wisconsin's playing a lot better since their defensive coordinator became the head coach, but I just don't see them being able to win on the road. I still I think Graham Mertz is going to struggle with Iowa's defense. Both of these defenses turn you over a lot, but Iowa's defense that's what they do, man. I think they have a crazy streak going with turnovers. I don't have my computer in front of me right now, but some crazy number they've had turnovers straight, and especially at home. They got one of the best home field advantages. You guys ever seen the Iowa City games with University of Iowa? They have the kids hospital connected to the stadium. So during between each quarter, the kids that are sick, man, are at the window watching the game because how they built it, the hospital, they can go to the window and watch the whole game from there, and they wave at the kids, and the kids wave back at them. It's a really, really nice tradition that they do out there in Iowa, man. And so I just think that they're going to have a real good home field advantage, and I love everything that they're doing over there. We're rolling with Iowa on that one, guys. We're taking Iowa +1.5 for sure.
That's sweet. I'll bet that, and I'll keep an eye out for that. That actually is a pretty cool story. Two
Yeah.
more college football games we want you to break down. Washington +13.5 at Oregon. Hey, you take out that first game where Oregon got stomped. I mean, just
Yeah.
stomped by Georgia. If you could just erase that from your memory, This Oregon team's pretty good. What do you think here?
Yeah, man, they look good. Bo Nix has shamed me. I talked so bad about him. I think
Yeah,
he watched the show. I think I
yeah,
talked so bad about Bo Nix at the beginning of the season because I had, if you remember, spread, I was all over Oregon the first game against Georgia because I knew
yeah.
what they had. I knew like this team has so much talent, and so after the first game, I'm like Bo Nix is still Bo Nix because he wasn't getting coached right at Auburn. He's just a big, strong kid, got good genes. His daddy was a star quarterback, and he's a good player, man. And he's going to get a sniff at the NFL the way he's playing at Oregon. And this game right here is funny, man. It's a huge number, but the thing is that Oregon can cover this 13 and a half, but also Washington can backdoor that because they have a really good transfer quarterback as well, Michael Penix Jr. He's been playing ball. He leads the whole nation in passing, and I really like Kalen DeBoer for Washington. Huge number. Oregon's playing well, but this is a rivalry. Washington and Oregon both have been top dogs in the Northwest for a really long time. I would have to take points. You got to take 2 touchdowns. I'd buy half a point and get it up to 14. But you got to take that because Michael Penix and those receivers with Washington can easily backdoor cover that game.
All right, last one. This is where college football is crazy. TCU, undefeated. They're catching 7 points against Texas. And I know Texas is playing better. It's just wild to see teams that are higher ranked just getting so many points. What do you think in this TCU versus Texas game? Is this going to be the end of the line for the TCU dream season?
This what the book is saying. They're saying they're going to lose. I don't think they cover. And the reason why I don't think they cover is because there's too many people on Texas this week. All I've been hearing everywhere is every sharp around the world talking about Texas is going to cover this week against TCU. And I don't like when that happens. I don't like when it's the talk of the community about one game. And everyone loves Texas so much. And the thing that I've noticed over the years is that Texas will let you down in these type of games. So I don't doubt that they may win the game, but I don't think they cover. I think a lot boils down to if TCU's star receiver plays. If he plays, TCU can win this game. He's that big of a factor on that team. This kid is like a Randy Moss Jr. He's huge, huge kid, plays big, mosses everything down the field. He doesn't drop anything on deep passes, but he also has some good receivers around him as well. He's not the only one that could play, but he's the difference maker. He's the one guy that I think puts them over the top where they could win in Austin. I'll be just watching this game. There's too much politics in this game. There's no way I'm going to bet it, but if I was leaning either way, I'm going to lean TCU strictly off the fact that the past history between these two teams has showed you that Texas can't be trusted.
All right. Let's move to the National Basketball Association. Skee, I'm running some numbers right now, trying to find my very best bets, but I know that you've already taken a crack at tonight's slate. Friday nights are always tough for me, and it doesn't make any sense. Why would I be great 6 days a week and terrible one? So I'm glad you're on here to steer me in the right direction. What are you looking tonight in the National Basketball Association?
Yeah, basketball players are human, man. The closer they get to the weekend, they got other stuff on their mind. Like, especially, that's why I think we see these, crazy Saturdays and Sundays and stuff like that. So just be a little bit more careful on these days. I have 3 games on my radar that I want to try to choose from, and I may bet all of them. But I'll start with the nightcap because that's the game that's really most interesting to me, and that's Cleveland and Golden State. And Cleveland's been playing really good basketball so far. I think they're for sure top 5. They're 8-3 so far in the year. And Golden State has kind of been the opposite. They've been losing, but they were on a really long road trip, and we know they're better at the house than on the road. It's Cleveland 5th game in 8 days compared to Golden State only playing their 3rd in 8 days. They haven't touched the court since Monday. And even in one of those recent games they played, they sat the star players. So I know they're well rested. As a team that's just been trying to figure things out and work on their defense and just trying to get a little bit more chemistry with the guys that they have available. I'm listening to the interviews. They're asking them what they have to fix to kind of get going a little bit more and what they got to do on offense. What does Curry need from other people? Curry said, we don't really need to fix anything on the offensive side. Just kind of saying, defense is the focus. Steve Kerr, he's talking about it. He says Just listening to him and picking out of what he's saying. He says, we're trying to clean up our defense and establish principles with the team. So I think, they've been putting in a lot of work while they've been having this time off. I think they'll be able to limit Cleveland because Cleveland is in a tired spot. And Golden State, as bad as they've been playing, they're still 4-1 at home. Home favorites with the rest advantage win 72.5% of the time. This spread is pretty much just asking you to win. So if I'm playing this one, I got to rock with Golden State with the rest advantage.
All right, I'm happy because I just ran the projections and I had an edge on Golden State too. 5-star, what do you think here?
Cleveland they were off last night, correct? They what was the game they just won? They just won in Sacramento. They lost to Sacramento. They lost.
Yeah.
Okay, so this game, I trust my NBA guys on here, but on my opinion, I'm gonna stay away from it just because if they lost at Sacramento, it might have been because they were looking forward to this game. And we know how Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are really competitive guys. So we're going to get probably the best out of those two in this game. So it might come down to Steph having to hit a 3 to win the game by 1 or a tip back in by somebody for 2 points. It's going to be tight. This is going to be a tight game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout on either side. Two competitive teams, two teams that both like to win. Golden State need to win, and Cleveland is just pretty much trying to set a new culture there. Their coach is really trying to make them play defense and win every night, and they've been playing really good. They've been very impressive to me. So me personally, it's a stay away, but you guys are leaning Golden State, right? You too, Spread, right?
Yeah, I just ran the numbers. Skee, I was wondering what you're thinking. When I was going over the matchup in my head before I put all the recent statistics in, and I wonder how Golden State deals with the size of Cleveland, which is a concern that I kind of had. But I also had that concern when Sacramento played them, and it felt like Cleveland wasn't able to take advantage there. Did you think that was because this is just a tired team, right? That they just came from Los Angeles? Or do you think that there's something here with these bigs not being as effective?
Well, size is usually the thing that, counters Golden State. But, yeah, I just think it's a fatigue spot. And just look at – I'm talking about all the games they've been playing. They lost the last 2. And
yeah, they kind of got jobbed in that Clippers game, though.
But still, when you lose to the Clippers, as bad as they've been playing, as bad as that offense has been, that's a little bit of a red flag if I'm expecting you to be a really good team. And then to follow that up by losing to the Kings as well, that's just telling me that, that something's going on over there, that they're trending downwards. Compared to Warriors are already at a low, and you buy low on them. And that's what I'm trying to do in the NBA. I'm just trying to find a little bit of change. I know Golden State is not as bad as they've shown, and I think the resurgence starts tonight.
All right.
Okay, they got to play some defense. That's the only thing, Skee, that I've been telling Spread. I don't like how they've been playing defense. They've been on that LeBron defense. So I just want them to come out of that, and maybe, like you said, they take tonight serious since Cleveland is a pretty, good team, and Cleveland gives them some good games. The last time they played, Golden State smoked them, but before that, they beat Golden State in Cleveland. So.
All right, what other games did you circle for tonight, Skee?
Memphis, they're playing Minnesota, and really, this is a tough one for me, especially like the line is telling me, something's wrong for the Memphis side, or it's some kind of edge to be had for Minnesota with it coming down. But I can't help but think this Minnesota team is in shambles right now. They can't even get 5 players on the court. They're out there playing 4-on-5. I've never seen that in my life. They're 1-5 straight up and against the spread their last 6 games. Anthony Edwards, just hearing the guys talk and seeing the body language, it doesn't look like it's a good situation over there. They've they failed to cover every game so far versus competition, being 55% win teams are better. They're 0-4. 0-1 is a road dog. So Memphis, they've been playing good basketball lately. They've been winning. They won 4 out of 5. They haven't necessarily been covering though. But I really want to try to find reasons to bet against Minnesota. And the categories that I care about, offensive rating, defensive rating, rebound percentage, last 5 games, Memphis is top 10 in all of those. So I have to try to rock with them at the house. That's what I'm thinking here.
I'm glad you said that. I love Minnesota here. I'm with you. So sometimes we have to take our L's. In my preseason previews, I loved Minnesota. I thought Rudy Gobert is one of the best regular season players in the NBA, right? And you're going to shore up that defense. So here's the two things that I feel like I missed on. And it's November, so we can't write this team off yet. But number one, Gobert hasn't fit in well at all. And they lost a lot of depth that I think I underrated, losing guys like Beasley and Vanderbilt just to get those quality minutes. And two, in my preview, I expected Anthony Edwards to make another leap like he did from year one to year two. And I don't know if we've even seen him be better than last year. So a little bit
I
tough.
know
And I
why.
don't. Why do you think?
Because Cat. It's because Cat. They go. I knew this was coming, Spread. We talked about this last season that this was going to end up happening. Ant-Man is a alpha. He needs his own team with pieces around him, but he's the clear voice of the team. He doesn't like Cat, and Cat doesn't like him. But the problem is Cat. It's kind of like that Russell Westbrook KD situation. Remember how they were together,
Yeah.
and both of them were alphas in the locker room, where different groups went to each
Cat
one,
not an
and
alpha.
he's not an alpha, but he thinks in his own mind he's like that little cat. You know, you that little cat that looks in the mirror on that card on that poster, and then it's a line in the mirror, but he's really just a little kitten. That's how Cat is, you know. So Cat thinks he's an alpha. His dad is telling him he's an alpha. You know, his dad is in his ear too, telling him, "This is your team, man." You know, they're gonna have to part ways with Cat to truly reach the heights that they want to over in Minnesota. They have the guy. Ant is the guy. He doesn't respect him. If it's not no respect between the two stars that are playing together, then it's going to be issues with because the team can feel that, and that's why I think at the you saw he was just standing out at the 3 point line, like just let this dude go. Like he think he know everything. Let him go. And he didn't want to participate. He was on the Kobe. You know, he was on his Kobe move. Like go ahead. So I just think personally that their problems come from Cat and Ant not getting along because Ant doesn't respect Cat, and Cat wants to make him respect him. Kind of like Shaq and Kobe, but Shaq deserved respect because Shaq was delivering numbers at the time. Cat is a good player, but he shoots way too many jumpers to be his size. He still hasn't refined his offensive game. He's still just doing that. I'll run into you full speed and expect the refs to call something and throw it up. So I think Ant needs to run that team personally. But tonight, like you on Memphis, right, Skee?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I don't have it in my pocket yet, but I'm trying to back him.
I'm on Memphis because what they're banking on is that it's the same type of rivalry situation from the playoffs. That's what the books are saying with this -4. But
Gotcha.
you know how tough Memphis is at home, guys. Memphis should smoke them, honestly. You know, because Minnesota just ain't playing good ball right now, like you were saying, Spread.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at too. And I think that the fact that playoff series was so competitive is giving us a little bit of an edge because you run the numbers of these two teams and how they're performing. There's nothing here to me to indicate that this game shouldn't be around 7.
Right.
And I think if you take out what happened last year, that's what the number would be. But, we saw them play so tough, and that was a fun series, even if it wasn't the best basketball. So
Yeah.
hopefully we get a fun game tonight. But I'm with you, Skee. When I hear that, I already projected it as a Memphis win, and now it makes me like the play. First game in Germany ever. Hear a lot of talk about the travel, which makes this weird. The Seattle Seahawks have been taking money. They were +3. Now they're +2.5, +125 on the money line. Tampa Bay, boy, barely got the win against the Rams in two teams that look like, two old fighters, right? At the end, right? Watching Anderson Silva out there or something, right? In the last year.
Yeah, it did. It looked horrible.
But if this was in America, I would actually love Seattle. I'm just not sure how to approach this. My numbers really like the Seahawks here. We'll start with you, 5-star. What do you think?
Seahawks all day. I'm on the Hawks, baby. Go Hawks, go. Tampa Bay has not impressed all year. It was pitiful to see Tom Brady in that manner, but his will pulled out the game, and I'm very glad because I had second half on Tampa Bay, and I'm really glad that he did it. But it was more a numbers play. It was not belief in him or their team. My boy Mike Evans, I probably see him in Houston sometime at the shop this summer. Man, he not looking good. He looking old and washed. He looking real beat up. He can't separate anymore. So I just don't know how they beat this young hype Seattle team, because you got Pete Carroll has got a reincarnation of the same team that he was building toward the Legion of Boom with. And you remember the big game for them that really started the Legion of Boom was when they beat the Patriots in Seattle and beat Tom Brady. Remember that? And Richard
Mhm.
Sherman with the "Why you mad, bruh?" Remember that? So Pete Carroll sees Tom Brady and he's going to be focused. Pete Carroll versus Todd Bowles is Pete Carroll all day. Right now, Geno Smith is a better quarterback than Brady, and I'm sure he'll be itching to get out there. And I think it's actually an advantage for them that the game's not uh, at least in Tampa Bay. That's the only way I could see Tampa Bay win on a neutral field. Seattle's just a better team than them right now, man. I'm going to be on Seattle, probably money line.
What do you think, Skee?
I disagree. And before I start talking a lot of NFL, I have to say, you guys know I focus more on NBA, and I did make a few plays in the NFL. This was one of them, but
Hmm.
I did all my homework on Monday. I put my plays
Hmm.
in, and I put it in the back of my mind. So I try my best to remember all the books and everything I had from Monday.
Right.
But really, Seahawks, this is how I feel about them. They've been playing good football, all that stuff, but just look at who they've been playing. They play the Cardinals team that's been in shambles, that has absolutely no defense. The Chargers are super banged up on both sides of the ball. They played the Cardinals twice, matter of fact. That they played the Giants when the Giants were in a bad spot. I think it was like a sandwich spot for them. So they've been set up to have success, like schedule wise. And I
Hmm.
know the whole world, and I'm surprised you like it 5 star, because I know, like you said, you don't like to be on a place that everybody likes, but this is the dog everybody's gonna bet this week. Everybody knows Seattle's been winning all these games in a row. It's the public dog, and everybody also knows how bad the Bucks have been looking, all the drama that's been going on with Tom Brady, et cetera, et cetera. But that divorce stuff is over now. I know he got some stuff going on in the how do I call it, that, not Bitcoin, but what's that stuff called? That other
FTX.
currency. Yeah, that other currency. I know he got stuff
That
going on over there.
his wife just bought a house across the street from him in Miami yesterday, so I don't know how much the divorce over.
Hey, just this is how I'm gonna say. How he was showing that will to win, like you said, in the end of that game. We haven't
Yeah.
seen that in none of these other games the past few weeks. Like, I feel like you get that because everything was done and finished, and now he can actually try to focus a little bit more on football. So personally, I know how it is when you deal with some stuff like he's dealing with, and you can't focus. You
Yeah.
can't do it. And then when it's over, you're like, boom, it's time to rock and roll. So I'm rocking with 12 for that reason. If a game is on the line and Seattle's up by 4, I'm still confident Tom Brady's going to come down the field and win the game for me. So I think the Bucks are the right side. I did bet it early at minus 130. I know it was climbing a little bit, but that's the side I will be on.
Quick two rebuttals, real quick spread. The rebuttal one on the public, it's two coaches that the public betting doesn't matter on. Pete Carroll over the years and Bill Belichick. Pay attention to it. Those two, it never matters about the public, and we don't know the politics behind it, but for some reason it doesn't. Okay. And second, as you know, we both been through things like that, and it's not gonna take one game. It's gonna take a whole season for him to get over that. It's gonna be on his back a little bit. But more than that, I just be careful with Todd Bowles, man. Todd Bowles is not a good coach.
All right, boy, good arguments there on both sides. And are either of you guys going to get up early to watch that one? I actually get
Hell
up and
yeah.
have my coffee and
Yeah,
watch them. You,
Hell
you
yeah, we gonna
see?
be up. I might
All
go
right,
over his house and pull up with the
you
7 Up.
know, you know what time it is.
All right. All right.
all right. Let's look at a couple more of these games. 5 star, I want to talk to you about this one because I'm thinking about going against your guys this week. The Pittsburgh
Okay.
Steelers are home dogs against the Saints. And we know that Pittsburgh's been terrible, but there's one reason that I want to play this game. And of course, I'm going to wait. I'll probably wait to make sure I see him on the field. I don't want to get scratched here, but the return of TJ Watt, he means as much to his defense as a quarterback means to the offense. And I think that that's really going to be enough to really make this Pittsburgh defense good. And I think they're switching in. I know Najee Harris is my guy, but he's hurt. Jalen Warren's been running better right now, and they've been
Yeah.
giving him more. I wouldn't be surprised to see him have a big game against a team. The Saints we saw really have problems stopping the run. Pittsburgh is a home dog. Tomlin coming off a bye. I'm liking the Steelers here. What do you think? Am I walking into a trap?
No, you're not at all. Dennis Allen cannot coach with across the field from Mike Tomlin. Simple as that. The Saints are mailing it in. They don't look anything like they're supposed to look with the personnel that they have, especially on defense. And that all comes from just effort and trying, man. And I don't see them being really thrilled with this game at all. Each game they're playing so just we're going through the motion, go get my game check. And it's really disgusting, man. It's disturbing to see. Dennis Allen has not gotten control of that locker room. And I trust, like you said, Mike Tomlin. I don't know how they do it, but it's just the aura of being at home at Pittsburgh and Heinz Field. Is that I think Mike Tomlin figures out a way. I think Kenny Pickett figures out a way. And as you said, if Jalen Warren can get the ball, he can really do some things. He has a lot more burst than Najee Harris. I don't know why people are so big on Najee Harris. I would have been playing Jalen Warren. He looks a lot quicker than Harris does this time. So yeah, you're on the right side.
Did you have any thoughts on this
No,
one?
all I'll say is Pittsburgh. I don't really trust them whenever TJ Watt is not out there. He had the last game I seen him. I think he had, or not him, but Pittsburgh defense was killing that game. I think they might have had like 7, 8 sacks, and they haven't really been getting any sacks since. So I think he'll bring a lot more to that defense. And I don't really want him to be laying with the Saints right now. So home dog, I'd have to sign up on that side.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about the Dolphins who are hosting the Browns. This one seems a little too easy to me. This is one of my biggest edges when I ran my projections this week. That almost scares me. It feels like everybody's going to be on Miami, and it feels like I'm missing something. Because they tease me on my other show because a lot of times, and Skee, I don't know if you actually project the exact scores like me, but I'm trying to. If I'm not close to the books on most of the numbers, I feel like I'm doing something wrong, right? These guys aren't posting a bunch of terrible lines, right? I'm not finding 10-point edges on 10 of the 15 games on the board. So when it's this far off, I'm going, okay, what am I missing here, right? 1-2 point edge, that's what I like here. I see a little more here. What am I missing with Miami and Cleveland? And am I walking into a trap if I lay it with the Dolphins at home? Start with you, 5-star.
This number doesn't make sense, and you know how we are about that. Just as you said, it means it's a stay away from me because in my right mind, how am I going to take the Browns at the Dolphins? Jacoby Brissett has been playing better. They do have dynamic running back. Surprisingly, Cleveland is catching more money. Cleveland has 51% of the bid. So if it stays where Cleveland, I'm gonna just wait till right before kickoff. If it remains at this number and Cleveland keeps taking money, I'm on the Dolphins because the Dolphins are a much better team. The Dolphins are going to be able to throw the ball on them. The Browns' defensive backs aren't good, and we've seen how good Jalen Waddle is and how good Cheetah is. Those two are the best combo in the whole league. The only thing they have to do is give two a time, and those guys are going to be open. So it's no way that I'm taking the Browns in this game, but if the money goes where a lot of money comes in late on Miami and it's just a ridiculous amount of money on Miami, I'm gonna stay away from it. But if it stays where it's at right now, what's kind of like even money, I'm definitely on the Dolphins.
Skee, did you look into this game and were you surprised by this line as I am?
No. I mean, it opened with 5.5. Why the hell would you be laying 5.5 with the Dolphins? When's the last time they won by 6+ points?
Right.
That's a good
they
point.
barely squeaked by the Bears. I think the only time was week 1, and it was another game versus probably a sorry opponent. Or they won by 6 versus Steelers. So
yeah,
I just don't trust Miami's defense. You could run all over them. Chicago just had 250 yards on the ground versus them. What you think Chubb and Kareem Hunt gonna do? So,
but that was because you got to factor in that's the quarterback running the ball in that game against Chicago. So it's not them handing off the ball and just lining up and saying dive left, dive right, pitch them, and they going for that amount of yards. Fields broke the NFL record for rushing that game, so that's quarterback rushing yards. So that's factored into that that total.
I'm with you on that, but still, they are a better pass defense, I think, than rush defense. And I just know, Cleveland with the extra rest, I think they're going to be able to have success in this one. I feel like Miami, if they didn't get that pick 6, they could have lost that game last week. Because Chicago, Justin Fields, in my mind, was playing a lot better than Tua.
I was sick that they lost. I was on the Bears money line. I didn't even take the points. I tripped out. I should have took the points. I gave my clients the points, but I took a money line. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So just looking at all this, I don't trust the defense, and they're not winning by margin. I'm not going to expect them to win by margin, especially versus a team with extra rest who I know can pound it successfully on the ground. So I'll take the Browns plus the 4 points.
Okay,
He
that's
was
a great point, Skee. That's a great point.
Talked about Fields. I know I did play that game, and I played the Bears just because um, they gave him some weapons, and I mean, look what he's finally looking like when he has something over there. He has a lot of potential. Could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And the Lions, I feel like it's simple. The first question I asked this week was, do the Bears play in a dome? No, they don't. Then I'm not betting on Jared Goff and the Lions because that's the only time he has success when he's playing indoors. So
Yep.
I'm on the Bears and Justin Fields. I just like the way they look in a fade of the Lions out of a dome.
But I'm just start a quick NFL, two NFLs real fast, and not talk about them much when we get to the ball and parlay. The Giants, I like them over the Texans outside in New York, offered by Daboll. I think they take advantage of the Texans. I think the Texans lose by more than 4.5 on that game. I think that Davis Mills struggles in that game a lot. Also, Cowboys Packers. I need you guys' opinion on this game here. I'm leaning Cowboys, but I know it's going to be a lot of public money on them. Sooner or later, you got to think that the Aaron Rodgers and the Packers wake up, or they watch like the Bucks. What you guys think?
I mean, my problem there is we've said that about Aaron Rodgers for like 5 weeks now. He's had all these get right spots, and they're just not getting right. I think that one's tough. I actually hated that one. I projected it to take the Packers, and I just said, no, I'm not going to do it, right? I mean, I'll run these numbers, but I'm not a slave to them. And I said, okay, maybe that says I should stay away, but there's no way I'm going to take Green Bay against that pass rush right now. I can see Rodgers giving up. He gets frustrated, man. And I think that this is the defensive line to frustrate him. What do you think, Skee?
Yeah, I'm not looking towards the Packers at all. Like we compare Bucks and Packers, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. At least one of them guys showed you some life and like some will to win.
Yeah,
the other one,
yeah.
he's just laying down in my mind. So we've seen this in previous years. He'll give up quick. So I'm not putting my money on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, well, you guys confirmed because I was leaning Cowboys on that game. I just know it's going to be a lot of public action. And like I told you, it's only two coaches that I trust when it's like that, and that's Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick. It seems like the other guys that could get a little shady when when the money gets involved against them. Let's get to the ball and parlay real quick. Let's let our guest go first, Skee, so he can get to his show.
All right, ball and parlay time. Skee, what do you got? What's the best bet for today?
Hey, I'm gonna give you two, just because one I did actually play, but it's not today, and the other one I'm extremely close to getting to the window with, and I just haven't played it yet. So I'll give you both. Number one, NFL. I am a Chargers fan. I'm telling you right now, laid at 7 with 49ers. Chargers cannot stop the run. When we played the Browns, we give up like 200 something yards on the ground to them. It's just anytime we play somebody who can run the ball. I think the Jaguars might have ran for 200 on us. Like it's going to be a disaster. They just got McCaffrey over there, and the difference between the Browns game is, 49ers actually have a defense. So Chargers are really banged up. Don't really have any receivers over there. I think they'll struggle to score a lot more than the 49ers. I think 49ers win by double digits. So Niners -7 is my play for NFL and NBA. Denver and Boston, and two teams that have won 4 games in a row, but we do have Boston that plays again tomorrow. And I'm just looking at it like, for one, Boston hasn't been covering. They've been winning. They won 5 out of 6, but they're 3-6 against the spread their last 9. And it's a team that's been beating up on Denver the past few times. They won 5 in a row. But right now, Denver's playing a little bit better basketball in my mind. They've been a slightly better defensive team in the last 5 games. They're number 3 in rebound percentage, so they should have an edge there. And the offense, I mean, it's number 3 versus number 2. So you're giving them 4.5 points. Like I said, both teams have been playing well. They've won 4 games in a row. They're 1-0 as a road dog. 1-6 of their last 7. 2-1 against the spread versus competition. 55% teams are better. I like the Nuggets plus the 4.5 points. I think it's a close competitive game.
Who you got, Spread?
All right, I am going to jump in, and we talked about it earlier. But hey, Skee liking it pushed me over the top. My projections like this one the most. I'll go ahead and take the Grizzlies -4. I want to continue to fade Minnesota until they figure these things out. What do you got?
Man, I'm going with the Tennessee Volunteers, man. Tennessee was embarrassed last week. Josh Heupel's explosive offense was put in check by Kirby Smart's defense. Georgia has great D, but they also broke Herndon Hooker's record, 20 straight games of at least one touchdown pass, man. And I'm sure that the Tennessee offense is going to be raring to get it going. They were held to 289 yards. These guys average 500 yards per contest. They're number one in yards per game in the NCAA. They're number two in points, scoring 45 a game. With them putting 62 points on Missouri last year, them coming off a loss, them also being number 5 and sitting right on the outside of college football playoff, I know that Tennessee is going to be fired up about this game, and I know they're going to give everything they have in this game to try to get ahead and try to put on a show for the committee and for their fan base. So we're going to go with Tennessee minus 20.5.
All right, there you have it. Skee, thank you for joining us today. Good to talk some NBA with you.
Yeah, always good to be with you guys. I appreciate y'all having me, and we'll do it again.
For sure, Skee. I'll pull up on you soon, brother. See you soon.
Sounds good.
Hey, man, so you guys see the picks for the day. Also, as a bonus, I did take Florida State -7 against Syracuse, just so you guys have that as a bonus. I gave that one out on a 97.5. Florida State -7 at Syracuse tomorrow night. I think Florida State's offense is a little bit too much for a very, very pedestrian Syracuse offense that's struggling to put up points and struggling to find someone to play quarterback. Great week. Anything for the people spread before we get out of here?
No, man, that was a lot of fun. I think we broke down a lot of games. I don't know about you, but my bet slip's absolutely packed right now after talking with you guys. So I'm pretty excited. We've had a great week and want to have a winning weekend, and just looking forward to it.
Awesome, man. Okay, guys, you follow my guy Spread Astaire at Spread Astaire on Twitter. Follow me at 5-Star in Vegas. Spell out the 5. We're going to be here 3 times a week. Usually Monday, Thursdays, and Fridays is the new schedule, so we can break down everything for you guys. We really appreciate you tuning in. Best of luck to y'all. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.